there, everyone! Welcome to my series where I talk about the books that I read during 2019 and I review them. Today I wanted to talk about one that was actually, one that I wasn't sure I was actually going to end up reading because I picked it up because I had 2 extra openings on my Audible Escape, and this just happened to be one of the 2, which I'm quite happy because the other one ended up being one of my favorite books of last year, so I was quite happy with the result. This one is The Tutor by Bonnie Dee. Now, the reason I picked this up is because I am a sucker for romance stories where one character is the countess to the love interest children. And honestly, this is actually very similar to that. Instead of a countess, it's a governess. It is the tutor. And in this one, you have a man named Graham who is passing himself off as a tutor for children, and you have the father. His name is Sir Richard. Sir Richard has 2 sons. I don't remember their names, but basically, ever since their mother's death, they haven't been right. They've been very secretive with each other. They're twins. So they tend to stay with each other a lot, and Richard needs them to be tutored so that he can send them off to boarding school. Well, when Graham gets there, he notices that one of the boys only does the talking. The other one never says a word. He just keeps staring at his brother, and his brother seems to have no trouble understanding what he's saying, even though he's not saying anything. And you find out that this particular child had actually witnessed his mother's death. She had hung herself from one of the towers of their house. And the book kind of took a really weird paranormal turn that I was not expecting. And honestly, I should have expected something was going on. But when I finally got to that portion where things were actually happening, I'm like, I don't know if I really want to continue this because it's getting like really intense. Ooh, I was like roller coaster, up and down, up and down, up and down. Oh, and honestly, like a lot of it didn't make a whole lot of sense, but when it comes to something like that, it's more about the characters that you actually know and understand. So ultimately, that's why I liked it. I believe I gave it 5 stars. It wasn't like one of my favorites, but it was a really good story. My only critique was the kind of thrown in there paranormal aspect of it, but it was really good. And I'm glad that I finally got an ending to my governess stories, because I don't know if anyone has ever watched Star Trek Voyager, but one of the first things that happens during Voyager's like first season is that you get to see Captain Janeway do a holodeck program where she plays the governess for 2 kids, and it has basically the same story, sort of the same kind of story plot line, and I was like, we never got to see an ending of that, so this was actually kind of a redemption for that. I was quite happy to see an ending play out where we got a happy ending for it. And it was very cute, very wholesome. I was a little sad that it was written in first person. Again, I'm trying to read more first person, but I kind of just bit the bullet and listened to it, and honestly, it did work a little bit. I still would have preferred third person, but I understand why they put it in first. So that's kind of my thoughts on The Tutor by Bonnie Dee. I highly recommend it if you are looking for your own kind of governess or tutor with the Lord of the House. I highly recommend it. So I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye!